What up, Doe? One Pride. My name is Antony Fitzpatrick. I am the Brit with grit, and this is Lions Nation Unite, the forum created by Detroit Lions legend Herman, bringing together a whole host of Detroit Lions content creators into one forum to chat everything Detroit Lions with you, the fans. If you could do me a favor and like and share this video, and also if you like the content coming out of the channel, also consider subscribing as well. We're trying really hard to grow this thing, and we can only do that with the help of you, the fans. Right, why am I with you today? The question I have been asked to answer: the Detroit Lions coaching staff departures. Should we expect a regression from the team given how many guys we have lost this off-season so far? We are going to answer that question right now. To start this off, let's just quickly go through the guys that we have lost coming into 2025. So obviously our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, he has gone to be the head coach at the Chicago Bears. Our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, has gone to be head coach at the New York Jets. We've lost our defensive line coach, Terrell Williams, to the New England Patriots as their new defensive coordinator. Wide receiver coach, Antoine Randall L., has gone to Chicago to be the assistant head coach and the wide receivers coach there for Ben. The assistant quarterbacks coach, JT Barrett, has also gone to Chicago to be their quarterback coach. Tight end coach, Steve Hayden, he's gone to the New York Jets to be their offensive line coach. Our assistant defensive line coach, Cameron Davis, has also left the team, although as of now, I don't believe he has another job just yet. Passing game coordinator, Tanner Engstrand, has gone to the New York Jets as their offensive coordinator. So, just first of all, congratulations to all those guys. This is a bit of an unprecedented thing for us losing so many guys in one off season, but that is just testament to how great a staff that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have been able to assemble here in their first time. That was their first staff of asking. So yeah, congratulations to all those guys. So to start answering this question, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what is regression? Now, may seem like a silly thing, but we do need to define what it is to see whether these are going to have an impact on us. So, the dictionary definition of regression is a return to a previous and less advanced or worse state. So, let's put it out there, is going from 15 and 2, which we did in 2024, to 14 and 3 a regression? Is the offense going from 33 points per game to 31 points per game a regression? Like technically, yes, they are regressions, but in this case, no. So for me, what true regression means on our part is an outcome that deviates us from the path to success. So the team has taken a step forwards every year under the Holmes Campbell era. And yes, I do include 2024 in that. Yes, we didn't go as far as we did in 2023, but we broke new ground. We had the number one seed for the first time. We had 15 wins for the first time. Those are healthy indicators that the team is still heading the right way. This is still a good team, but obviously injuries really hampered us as well in this regard. But for me, we were still breaking new ground this year, so we were still progressing forward. So for me, your regression is linked to your expectations. So what should be the expectation and what would mark a regression to that expectation? So all the team records, the individual awards, they were great in 2024. But now for me, we need to really be going in the direction of winning a Super Bowl. Like 15 wins again, it means nothing if we're bounced into the divisional round. To the number one seed again means nothing if we're bounced in the divisional round again. For me, this year is about getting to the dance instead of breaking all those records. We've got to make tangible progress towards the Super Bowl. The minimum expectation for me is a deep playoff run, and I'm talking the NFC Championship game as a bare minimum this year. We're going into year five. We've been there once already. We need to start getting closer towards the dance. Anything short of that for me will mark the first time this regime has really stalled in its project to go forward, and that would mean a regression to the overall plan because we're not moving in the direction that we want to. So back to the subject topic at hand. Does the departure of all these staff members hinder our ability to meet that expectation? And in my opinion, No, it does not. And there's one real big reason behind this, and that's the grit culture that we have here. Now, the most valuable ingredient needed for a successful team that likes to go on and win Super Bowls and be competitive every single year is the culture and a team that has bought in to that culture. And the two generals on this side that espouse the core beliefs of that culture, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they're still here, and their team still very much believes in them and their process. Now, that counts a very long way to going in the direction towards being a competitive team. Now, yes, I do understand you do need more than that, and this is where you trust the track record for me. So there is no doubt we've lost a good chunk of coaching talent. Like that is a fact that cannot be denied coming into this offseason. But who identified that talent long before it was realized? Brad and Dan. So they identified, first of all, the right coaches to keep from the old regime, Ben Johnson, Hank Fraley, two of our most important coaches over this cycle so far. They kept the right guys. They identified the right coaches for their new staff. Again, a lot of former players, a lot of guys who hadn't held the positions that we gave them. They identified these guys very quickly and were able to put this staff together. But most importantly of all, on the occasions they did get it wrong, with Anthony Lynn, with Dre Bly, guys like that, they made changes quickly. They're not afraid to make those changes to avoid any long-term damage to the team. If they feel it's not working, you're out, you're done. But for the most part, they've been incredibly successful in their hit rate of getting a staff, and that is building a staff from absolutely nothing when they first came here. It was a lot of dart throws against the wall for the most part, and most of them stuck. The ones that didn't were replaced quickly and replaced with darts that did stick. So, the job they did creating an entire staff from nothing gives me confidence they can deal with the departures this year. They've had time to groom successors for these roles. Obviously, Kelvin Shepard's going to be the new defensive coordinator. He's been here since day one. He's fully trained and ready to go in the vision that they want from him. They've had time to scout rising stars who fit their system and bring them in. Obviously, John Morton is back for a second time. He has been here before. He has gone away. He has spread his wings. And now he's back with us as offensive coordinator, and hopefully he's going to do a good job for us going forward. And they're also doing a good job of keeping this fine balance between these youthful, enthusiastic coaches and having good experience on board. Getting David Shaw in as pass game coordinator, he is vastly experienced. I love the work he's done over the years at Stanford and his track record. I think he's going to bring a valuable voice into this room. And obviously, Dan, I think, is going to have a little bit more of an input this year as well, which will be a good thing. Not just leave it to the coordinators blankly, just have your say in there, and maybe we'll have a little bit of a system work better at the top. And, ultimately, we've lost a lot of guys, great, and we've lost a lot of good guys as well, but ultimately, every single coach who comes through the NFL has their flaws, and, you can improve on that. So, would Johnny Morton, would our next offensive coordinator, would he choose to run the ball a bit more against Washington rather than try and throw it a lot through the air and try and be aggressive, needlessly aggressive with his play calling and just stick to what works? Because if there's if ever we've had a problem with Ben, which are few and far between, it's sometimes right in the hot hand on the part of the game, which is winning at you and almost overthinking yourself. So, will the next over coordinator maybe not overthink as much in those clutch situations? Will the next defensive coordinator continue to shamelessly blitz Jaden Daniels when it's clearly not working? There needed to be adjustments made in how we were trying to deal with him in that Washington game. Those adjustments were not made, and we paid the price. So we may be losing talent, we may be losing guys we like, but at the same point, maybe having fresh perspective in the room, new ways, new ideas. Next time we're in that clutch situation, will these new guys be able to make up for the mistakes of the guys that have been made in the past? Just those little things can mean all the difference between success and failure. So, when I look at this as a whole, like again, we've lost a lot of guys on this staff. I get that, but Dan and Brad have built a staff from scratch. Now they get to do it with years of preparation behind them, years of scouting, and they know the kind of guys they want here. They get the right guys here. You've got to go with the track record for that. And again, the culture's here. So I don't see a point where this can affect us, where the regression is going to ultimately stop us from competing for a Super Bowl this year. Like I say, the grit culture's there. We work harder, better, faster, stronger than most teams in this league. And, the injuries were a big leveler this year. If we can stay healthy next year, we've still got the core guys in place. We've still got the same system in place. We're still going to be an utterly dangerous team this year. And I look at all the guys who've gone, and I don't see the area where I'm thinking, oh God, we're going to regress to a point where this is going to affect us because we've got the key ingredients there. We can build everything else up alongside it. We got the personnel. We got the head coach, we got the GM, we got another season to strengthen here and fill any holes in the roster that we may have. We've got a healthy cap situation. So I don't envisage all these staff departures causing us a regression in terms of our ability to reach the Super Bowl this year. That is my answer to that. However, I am just a humble bald guy on the internet. I am a British guy on the internet. This isn't even my national game. So, of course, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you think about the departures? Do you think all these staff leaving are going to hinder our ability to reach Super Bowl? Or whatever your expectations are for this season, it's a different thing for us all. Your expectations are different to mine. Your definition of regression might be different to mine. So put it in the comments below. I will get back to you. I will chat with you. I like doing the responses for these videos. So yeah, let me know what you think. Will the Lions losing their coaches affect their ability to, progress this year in their way forward? As I say, don't forget to like and share this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing to Lions Nation Unite. We really are working incredibly hard here to try and get this thing up to where we want it to be, and we can only do it with you guys, and we really appreciate you all for watching. If you want to see me a little bit more as well, you can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We are a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond. We're very passionate Lions fans. We love talking football. We go live on Mondays. You can find us on Wednesdays, Thursdays, during the games, during the season. Just stop by and say hi. And you never know, you might like us. But yeah, thanks ever so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I really appreciate you all. And we will see you for the next one. Go on, Pride.